Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. An emergency substitution ahead of Hitch's Black Ops 2 throwback tournament. Karma is out, Shotzzy is in for that team, but also some drama that FormaL's getting involved in on the Halo side, with HES announcing just ahead of the World Championship that a lot of the crowdfunding dollars are going to disappear. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. This clip is honestly unbelievable here from Shotzzy. He was driving and he was going to turn down this road here on the left hand side. You guys probably already saw the start of it, but he's at this junction. He goes to turn left and realizes that these barriers are in the way and he just simply cannot go this way. I don't know how he didn't look to see this before he actually tried to turn the corner, but yeah, he basically just goes the wrong way down this side of the road here because I guess he has no other option at this point. And this truck is like oncoming thinking, what is this moron doing? Especially this situation. And he sees new traffic pattern and he thinks, damn, maybe this is what I meant to do, and then he ends up turning off the road. So yeah, how did this guy get his license? I do not know. But just a funny way I thought to start off the video. Couple of things quickly on the London side. Scrap saying, you know, relatively soon he's going to be getting somewhere. We think Scraps is going to be the London substitute for the upcoming season. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually gets a shot in the starting team at some point this season, if indeed he does come in. Now this also, so Koi Esports, KY Esports, whatever, they've done a joint venture effectively with Rogue, and now they kind of own the London Royal Ravens franchise. Bit of a messy ownership situation over there, but they did a Q&A, which kind of was like a press release type thing anyway, really. But they pretty much talked about, or Cody asked them, what's the thing about, could London go to Madrid? What's the plan there? Now, they literally don't say anything. It's not worth me wasting 45 seconds of your time to actually share this clip, but effectively what she does say is, looking at the entire franchise right now, we don't even know what would be possible. So it sounds to me like they probably want to move it, but we don't know, like they don't know whether they're allowed to do that by Activision. Like Activision might say, look, fair play, you can move it to Madrid if you find a buyer for the London spot or whatever, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, reading between the lines here, potentially, that they're not exactly committed to staying in London, let's just say, and given the fact that Spanish organisation, you would think they want to move it to Madrid. Is that worth it to lose the UK team? I don't personally think so. I think there should be a London team regardless, but you know, hopefully we can have both with an expansion that happens relatively soon. Even I believe Grayson was replying to this, that's Adam Adamu over from Toronto, saying, look, the league could support 30 teams all around the world. They just need to get to that point, and the money interests need to be there from that perspective. Now, I never thought I'd be talking about Mark Goldbridge on this channel, but here we are, because yesterday, Quadrant, we literally just talked about the fact that Quadrant, Lando Norris's team, could they be a possible candidate for that London spot, if indeed that was to happen. Yesterday, they just announced a Rocket League team, courtesy of Mark Goldbridge. So, yeah, anyway, this is their roster. Lando Norris talks about it a little bit. But interesting, right? Because Quadrant are in an awful lot nowadays. The only, like, kind of, well, at least tier, I don't know where you consider Call of Duty Esports to be, tier 2, I don't know, tier 3, probably a little bit ambitious. But the only real big esport, I guess, that's probably, like, you know, franchised and has a big support, I suppose, apart from the real top dogs in Counter-Strike and League of Legends and stuff. A lot of the esports around Call of Duty's level, you could argue, around their kind of tier, Quadrant are now in, you know, Halo, stuff like this. So I do wonder whether, and even Lando Norris has said himself in the past, the Call of Duty League franchise would be in consideration. Whether it's going to be worth it for Quadrant, I'm not really sure, but still, that might be one to at least think about, right? That if indeed they do want to move the London spot to Madrid, then maybe Quadrant could get involved. So pretty cool stuff from the boys. Now let's talk about the Halo World Cup, because this is coming, or World Championship, I guess, it's coming up very soon indeed. 1 week away, I guess, well, next weekend in Seattle, Washington, I believe, is when it's going down. Now, the Halo pros are not happy about really the state of not just the game, but also the way things have been run by 343 Industries and just the infrastructure really behind the scenes here, especially because, so look, they released the trophy yesterday, really cool looking trophy, great stuff. But alongside it, they say this, more events with partner teams, they try and spin this as a positive. But, you know, look, crowdfunding has been a thing in Halo. They introduced, of course, all the camos to the game. You can buy the OpTic pack, the Cloud9 pack, whatever, and part of that money goes towards funding the World Championship. When this was initially announced, we were like, damn, why can't Call of Duty do this? It's not the same in COD and Halo, right? When it was announced and when it was released and first talked about, like, there was so much gas around Halo, right? Halo Infinite, really doing so many things right, and the crowdfunding was one example of that. But over time, the game has kind of got maybe a little bit stale. They haven't really brought the updates and the new maps that a lot of pros would have hoped they have, and some of the problems that the pros have with the game haven't exactly been resolved. And now they find themselves in a spot where the crowdfunding is now not going just to the World Championship. I think the idea was all the money from crowdfunding will get put into the champs effectively. But now they're rolling that back and saying that actually the crowdfunding is going to going to be spread out over the upcoming year. So a massive chunk of the prize pool that the pros were going to be fighting for in just a week's time has now been cut off entirely and is going to get spread over the next season, which, you know, a lot of people are going to look at this and think, well, you know, damn, maybe you could have done that in the first place, but changing the rules 1 week before champs is pretty outrageous, right? And the pros aren't happy about this, and understandably, because a lot of these guys came over, especially guys like Snakebite, right, from Apex, who could have made a lot more money doing that, came over to Halo because of, you know, what he considers to be false promises, and now they're rolling it a lot back, as FormaL says, disappointed to say the least. So yeah, definitely some questionable decisions coming out lately. Is it all about the money at the end of the day for the guys that run the league behind the scenes? I suppose it is, but still, announcing this a week before champs is not really what you want to be seeing. And even Snipedown says only a week before Worlds and they decide to take away crowdfunding. Wish I wasn't lied to when deciding to make the switch. I never would have left Apex. That was Snipedown, sorry, from FaZe, and this is Snakebite from Sentinels. Disappointed but not surprised given the state of the game. I appreciate the opportunity, and regardless, it's still an amazing event that I'm excited to go and try and win. What I'm embarrassed about is the way it has been delivered a week before the World Championship to fans, players, and partners alike. So yeah, lots of drama about this on the Halo World Championship side, but look, still, the event is still happening. There's just going to be less money on the line with only the base prize pool 100. Well, it's a million with 400k, I think, for first place. But the crowdfunding thing has just not disappeared, but it's going to get spread over next season, which is not what was initially promised. So yeah, players not happy about that. Let's talk about this tourney then that's coming up from Hitch. I believe it begins today, the off-season tournament. Lots going on here, not just the Black Ops 2 throwback event. There's other matches happening as well. And even as Donny Simp says, quick trip to play a LAN on Black Ops 2 in 2022. Absolutely fantastic scene. So good stuff. Now, there will be a substitute actually for this. I really hope all is well with Damon Barlow and his family. As he says here, was really looking forward to playing this weekend, but Holly's grandma is in the hospital and they're keeping her in overnight. Shotzzy will play in my spot. So, you know, really cool stuff that Shotzzy's in. Hopefully all's well with Karma and, you know, Holly's grandma and everyone in their family. Family first for sure, but it is a shame that Karma can't play in this. Of course, Black Ops 2 World Champion. I was really looking forward to seeing Karma back on the sticks. I think one of the most exciting things about this weekend for me is like some of the old school clips from Black Ops 2. Like, let's say Scump gets a 3-piece on Yemen around the Churchill. Like, the amount of potential in that, right? To kind of look back at Scump's play back in 2013 and then look to the current play in 2022. I'm sure there's going to be many possibilities like that from the players that are playing, that did play back in the day and are now playing in this Black Ops 2 throwback as well. Unfortunately, Karma won't be there, but some other Black Ops 2 World Champions will be there. Killer will be there, for example. We shall see here in a second. But Shotzzy playing in his spot, that is pretty exciting because I don't know how old Shotzzy was when Black Ops 2 was around, but I don't reckon he's even really ever played it, to be honest. And what sort of stuff is he going to be up to? Because it's a kind of more traditional Call of Duty game in a sense. It's not like these recent games with all the advanced movement and stuff. Positioning is very important. Obviously, gun skill is very important. The aim assist is far lower than on other Call of Duty games more recently, so it's going to be exciting to see Shotzzy in action, right? It would have been good to see Karma, but, you know, pretty cool that Shotzzy's replacing him regardless. Now, these are still the teams, if you guys are unfamiliar. Scump, Big Timer, Arcitys, and Pristini, that's team 1. It will now be, I guess, Rambo, Shotzzy, Merc, and Temp. That's going to be team 2. Bit of a weird mishmash of players, I think, really, but still pretty cool regardless. I think my favourite teams, well, there's some good teams here. My favourite teams to go into listenings with would probably be this team of Embo's, Killer, Clayster, and Methods. Like, that is a pure comedy lineup, so I'm looking forward to that one. And then even Envoy, JCap, Crim, and Aches is going to be great as well. So looking forward to all of these. The way it works, I believe the first round is Scump Big T versus Killer's team, and then Rambo's team versus Envoy's team, I guess, is the way that it's easier to look at it. So yeah, I guess the first round will be Shotzzy versus Envoy and co, and then it will be Scump versus Killer and co. Those are kind of the semi-finals. The winner of both those semi-finals goes into a winners finals match, which I believe is also going on tonight to determine the first grand finalist, and then on Sunday there's the losers finals to determine the other grand finalists, and then the grand finals themselves to finish out the tournament, I believe is what's going on. So really cool stuff, looking forward to it. And even this video came out recently for the OpTic guys doing a 1v1 type thing on Rust, where honestly Embo's was absolutely frying and Shotzzy was getting world starts. So I mean, yeah, Bo's versus Shotzzy could well be first up or second up or something this upcoming weekend. So looking forward to some more battles just like this. But I mean, yeah, even this I thought was cool from Hitch as well. So there's the kind of charity milestones when they reach certain numbers of kind of well, charity revenue generated for, I think it's for November, yeah, it says actually right here. So when they get to $30,000, that means in the grand finals there's going to be hijacked hardpoint, right? This is one of the OG Black Ops 2 kind of hardpoint maps that was played right at the start of the game. I think it was taken out. Maybe it was still played at Champs, but it was taken out at some point in the life cycle. It was a bit of a messy map, right? But Scump had some legendary moments actually on it, as did Karma. Unfortunately, Parasite isn't here, but Parasite was known to just pull out the Remington shotgun in the downstairs hardpoint and wreak absolute havoc. So that'd be pretty cool as well. And even as, even as Hitters, I'd vision big time making it to grand finals, taking a shot at Tequila, spawning into hijacked hardpoint. It's going to be a fantastic time this weekend. Crimsix will, of course, be there as well. He's been absolutely killing the racing games. I mean, look how realistic this setup is. It's actually unbelievable. He goes for the move around the outside here, and the guy just straight up understeers or doesn't break for the corner and just completely takes him out. Crim, I don't know, maybe he could have given him a bit more space, but I think, honestly, it wasn't really Crimsix's fault, and he just gets flips upside down. So, yeah, honestly, this setup is unreal that Crim's got. iBeZy had his helmet on as well, just, in case anything drastically went wrong. But speaking of Crim, a couple of crazy bits of information to share for you guys as we end out the video. So, Doug says, myself and aBeZy are the only players in COD history to have beaten both the Complexity and OpTic dynasties for a championship. That's pretty cool, which I believe is true. But there's also some other stats which I thought were crazy about this. So this is Crim's record against other pros in grand finals. Kind of unbelievable. JCap must be, I don't know if JCap's like so aware of this, but like, well, now he probably is. So whenever Crim has played Cap in a grand finals, he's 8-0 against him. Huke's 5-0, Sharp 3-0, Theory, Neslo, some of the old TK guys, John, Slack, Study. So all of these pros he's never lost to in a grand finals. Slash he's 7-1 against, Crowder 4-1, aBeZy 5-2, even against Clay he's 7-3 against. But yeah, Cap being 8-0 against him, like, that is pretty rough. Then these are some other ones, Merc 2-1, Nadeshot, Parasite, Nameless. A lot of pros he hasn't played that many times in grand finals, but the amount of grand finals Crim has been in just goes to show this right over his career. And even aBeZy is 3-2 in grand finals against, which is kind of interesting. And then you start getting to the equal level, so Itachi's 4-4 against Enable 3-3, Scump 2-2, which is kind of a nice symmetry there in a way. Cell, Big T, Saints, Dido, Eggs, Drazah, and Kenny. And then there's only 5 players in COD history that he has a negative grand finals record against. I think minimum 2 matches. There might be some pros that he's played one time and lost, but that's not really been considered here by Brian Stats. Arcitys he's 2-4 against. Doug is 1-2 against, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? Like, I guess, yeah, Doug beat that early OpTic Dynasty squad in the grand finals for a chip, and he did the same to the Complexity team before that. Lost one time to Crim, even though he pretended he didn't. And then, yeah, Gunless as well, 1-2. Envoy 1-2, and then Zuma 3-4 Crim is again. So, yeah, kind of crazy stuff. There's only 5 players, at least minimum 2 matches out of all of this list that have, have a positive record against Crim in grand finals. And yeah, some of these numbers at the top are pretty impressive. And just to mention, there's some sad news, of course, yesterday that I'm sure many of you guys saw. Robbie Coltrane passed away, best known probably as Hagrid, but also many other great characters from, well, film history, I suppose. I'll always remember him as Valentin Zukovsky from GoldenEye and The World Is Not Enough. But it was worth mentioning here, actually, because if you guys are aware of, Parasite's nickname Hagrid, or, nickname Haggy, right? So, but Haggy came from Hagrid. So this is the image, right, from several years ago now, which is kind of hidden in the internet in different places. It's kind of difficult to find, but it's now back on Twitter. So yeah, the nickname, people gave the nickname Haggy to Parasite because this particular picture, he looked like he was Hagrid, right? So that's where the nickname Haggy came from. But I thought it would be nice to share to close out the video, even if Parasite does say it was originally used to bully me, but then it just stuck, right? I never really liked it, but, rest in peace, Robbie, regardless. But yeah, still legendary kind of event in COD history to some extent, but very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.